The PMAC has been the heart of LSU basketball, gymnastics, and graduations for the past 53 years, and LSU has decided it's time to either make substantial upgrades to the PMAC or build a new arena. As of right now, they're opting for a new arena. For today's episode, the attorney for the Tiger Athletic Foundation, Charles Landry, will be talking to the News and Sports Director of the Louisiana Radio Network, Jeff Palermo, and the editor of Tiger Rag, Todd Horne, to discuss what the plans are with LSU's new arena.
I think that most people that contact the 90-day Lifeline are looking to be heard and to feel seen.
Anybody that calls here to talk about anything that has them upset, we will talk to them.
Even on our chat and text services, you will be actually chatting and texting with a real person.
We have enough resources to be able to help people in any type of situation.
We have helpline specialists that are trained to handle the variety of calls that we get.
It's a very laid-back thing. We're not judging anybody. We're just a listening ear that some people don't have.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yeah. Let's go. Come on.
Tiger Rag Radio is on the air.
Let's crank this thing up.
We're statewide, breaking down the latest happenings with LSU athletics.
This is us.
Hear from the coaches.
Put together a defense that puts us in a position to win the SEC.
The players.
Having fun and we working, baby. That's it, baby.
The recruits.
Show some passion and some heart.
And those who cover the Fighting Tigers of LSU and the SEC.
All those things are going to be there, which are important.
It's 2 hours of nonstop LSU talk.
What a privilege. I mean, you get to represent LSU.
Tiger Rag Radio is brought to you by Cummins. Cummins creates power solutions that the world depends on. Helm Paint and Decorating. The paint experts of Louisiana. Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Max Home. And the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Get ready to talk Tigers with producer Jackson Blackman and our hosts, Todd Horne and Jeff Palermo.
Three great players that are better people than they are players.
This is Tiger Rag Radio.
We're back here on Tiger Rag Radio. Jeff Palermo, News and Sports Director of Louisiana Radio Network, along with Tiger Rag editor Todd Horne. Joining us now as we talk about the proposal, I guess you can call it a proposal at this point, for a new arena on LSU's campus. It's Charles Landry, who's the attorney for the Tiger Athletic Foundation, and he joins us now on Tiger Rag Radio on the Max Holmes hotline. Charles, thanks a lot for spending some time with us tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeff, and pleasure to be with you and Todd.
Well, what is the latest here on a potential new arena for LSU, one that would replace the Pete Maravich Assembly Center?
Yeah, we're very excited about the opportunity. We're early in the process. We started with trying to figure out whether the PMAC could be retrofitted for an upgraded athletic experience, but $150 million was an obstacle, and there really wasn't a funding mechanism for that. So we have pivoted to evaluate if Baton Rouge, because this would really be a community asset, can support a privately funded new arena that would be on the LSU campus, but really a community asset, as I said before. And where we are is we invited a number of nationally recognized developers to come to Baton Rouge last June and kind of talk about a potential project and got a good bit of information. We did an RFQ, or request for qualifications, where we knew it would be very important to get the best, most highly qualified team involved with this project. And where we are today is we are in the RFP process, we being the Tiger Athletic Foundation, where there are 2 finalists that have until June the 30th to provide us with their first proposals for how they would plan a new arena, how big it would be, how it would be configured, where they think it would be best located, what amenities would be in the facility, and kind of their financial structure, which would then turn to a review of those proposals by TAF and LSU, and we would go from there. I know your question is, well, where would you likely go from there? And you won't really know until you see what the proposals are. One may be clearly better than the other, and you would then kind of focus on one of the semifinalists and try to pursue a deal with a finalist. Or they could be close enough that one has something that's good and the other one has something that's also good but different, and you would go to another phase of refinements of proposals. So at this point, we really don't know what is going to be proposed. We don't know what they think is the best place to site the arena. It certainly will be somewhere on the South Campus. But importantly, we wanted to give the developers the flexibility to be creative, to be innovative, and to tell us what they think it would be the best proposal for a viable arena for our community. And then we would, as the TAF organization and LSU, and getting a lot of input from others, would try to figure out what's best for LSU and the community.
So, Charles, whenever you talk about the fact that it could go a number of ways on June 30th or after that, what is your general timeline, and what's the background of these developers? Are they just coming in blind with creative assessments, or have they studied this a lot so far?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this process started with a conversation is the best way I could describe it, Todd. We have done this type of process at LSU for a number of projects. Most recently, the Nicholson Northgate student housing project, which has been an enormous success. Instead of just going out and preparing a sterile RFQ document and then getting into an RFP, we found that it's best to invite interested developers in to just talk to us about what they think about the project generally and help us define what would be the best process to end up with the best developer team. So these two finalists have been very much focused on this project well before June of last year, because we gave them time and to kind of consider what they think might be of interest to them at LSU. So, yeah, they've been working on it, but we got to the point where now we're asking for formal proposals. And, Todd, these proposals, they have to design from a conceptual standpoint the building. They have to give us a site plan. They have to give us cross-sections of the building. They're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to submit their proposals on June the 30th. And, as I've said repeatedly, at this point in time, I couldn't tell you, I couldn't guess where they wanted to put it, where they want to put it, how big an arena they think would be appropriate for Baton Rouge, how it would be configured, what the amenities are. We really wanted to give each of these semifinalists a lot of flexibility to tell us what they think would be best to make this successful for the community.
May is here, and with it comes adventure from your friends at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Enjoy your summer with the 2024 Summer Reading Program. Besides reading fun, check out free programs for all ages at your library. Go to ebrpl.com/summerreading. That's ebrpl.com/summerreading. Your EBR Parish Library is where summer fun begins.
Now, even though neither of the current developers that are involved in the bidding process or the planning process that's going to commence for real, I guess, on June 30th, can be disclosed right now. Well, actually, why is that, Charles? Why can't you just tell the public who these developers are right now?
Well, because the process is that there's going to be a lot of confidential information that is going to be provided. And just think about it, Todd, if we disclose who these two potential developers are, there'd be a lot of folks getting on the phone, calling them, asking them to be part of their team, trying to get involved in the project. And we don't want that. We want them to have the opportunity of a quiet time for them to come together with this proposal before we would begin negotiations with a finalist. All of this has to come in public meetings before the Board of Supervisors, and there'll be a lot of open meeting time, just as was the case with the Nicholson Northgate project. So we want to give them some clean air to put together the best proposal, and then there'll be plenty of opportunity for public input in this process.
I understand that these two developers, even though we don't know who they are already engaged nationally and working with other colleges in this public to private relationship to create these arenas, these concepts for these arenas, then fully develop them and then fully operate them at their cost and at their risk. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. That is, you just described the structure with just one little tweak. The way this works, and the most important two words that you used and we have focused on is at risk. What will be the structure, Todd, is that just as the case in the Nicholson Northgate apartments, it's the exact same structure. LSU would lease a greenfield site, a vacant piece of property to TAF, and TAF would sublease it to the finalist developer, and there'll be an extensive development agreement with all kinds of requirements, not only as to what they're going to build, but how they're going to operate it, how they're going to maintain it, what kind of reserves they're going to have for maintenance in the future, how the building will be programmed, how many days, this is very important, how many days in each year will be blacked out for the university's use for competitive athletic events as well as commencement exercises and LSU other events, the programming and the like. The building will be owned by the developer. So your description of the developer being at risk is extremely important, because otherwise, to get a $350 to $400 million facility, there isn't a funding mechanism that would be reasonably available today for LSU to do this facility as an LSU facility. There isn't enough money to come out of the legislature to fund a substantial part of this facility. There's not enough fundraising effort to close the gap. So what we want to do, since the PMAC is not suitable structurally and by physical configuration to have entertainment events, that is what the developer is counting on to pay for this building. So Baton Rouge has been starved for good events. There were 11 at the River Center last year. There are only 3 programmed for this entire year now. If you take the Moody Arena at UT, which is in the second year of its opening, same kind of structure. It's owned by a private developer. It was programmed for over 100 days of events, and was the most profitable arena in the country in the second year of operations. Now, you know, we want to manage expectations. You know, we don't think that they'll be in the second year of operations in Baton Rouge over 100 days of event use. But would there be 70, 80? We certainly hope so, and we think this community can support that.
So, Charles, the LSU athletic events and commencement exercises and things like that, but let's focus on the revenue, like the men's basketball, women's basketball, gymnastics, and the brand of LSU. For those events, would LSU get 100% of the revenue generated from those events at no cost?
Exactly. And on top of that, Todd's a great question. On top of that, they're likely going to have greater revenue because they'll be able to, you know, sell their seats for athletic events in a brand new $350 to $400 million facilities with incredible amenities, low seating, small box seating, club seating, suites, and the like. And so we think LSU, it's value added to them because they will get the use of the facility for no consideration, yet they'll be able to receive 100% of the revenue from those activities. And the hope is, just as was originally planned when we were looking at retrofitting the PMAC for athletic events, that there'll be a lot more premium seating available to LSU than what they have now.
Charles, thanks a lot for your time. Great information. Can't wait to see what happens on June 30th once you get the proposals and where this goes from here.
Look forward to catching up with you then.
All right, Charles Landry, who is the attorney for Tiger Athletic Foundation, talking about the potential for a new arena on LSU's campus.
It's your time to move things forward. U.S. Army Reserve.
All right, that's it for today's episode. Stay tuned to TigerRag.com for more LSU sports updates, and we'll be back.